Kira! Well, this is fortuitous. You'll never believe what my sister Kirith has gotten herself into this time. I swear she does these things just to vex me. Thank goodness you came by. My sister Kirith and I were surveying the area, trying to get the measure of this dwarven ruin. I turned my back for a single moment and Kirith fell into that hole. Or jumped in, for all I know. It happened so fast. Oh, you have no idea. Especially the way Kirith operates. We're on the verge of a major Dwemer discovery. That's why the king invited us here. We're experts, you know. Could you rescue my sister? I'd help, but I don't do that sort of thing. Kirith knows better than to jump into strange holes. She knows I can't abide small, dark spaces. Well, yes. Kirith likes to say that we're dungeon delvers, but I prefer to think of myself as the world's foremost expert on dwarven artifacts. When the king invited leaders in their fields to come to Hrothgar, we jumped at the opportunity. You'd be surprised that many so-called scholars refuse to travel to dangerous places. But that's usually where the best sites are located. And then there are the orcs. Most of the explorers that we know tend to find the orcs to be intimidating.
You good? Of course you are.
Well, this is a strange place to see a familiar face, but it's a pleasant surprise as well. Did you fall down that hole too? Fell? I'll have you know, I'm an expert dungeon delver. I don't fall, I drop gracefully. But yeah, I certainly wasn't planning on getting down here using that particular method. Hey, where is my brother? I could use his help down here. Now that you mention it, I was hoping to collect a dwarven power core, but the only one I saw was protected by a thing guardian. If you could get the core, I'd appreciate it. Raynor loves those things, uses them to build all kinds of devices. Me? I don't need it. But my brother Raynor collects the things, uses them to make all sorts of strange and interesting devices. Since we're down here, I figured we should get one for him. He hasn't had one to tinker with in quite a while. Oh, all sorts of things. Sometimes they don't do what he thought they would, and every so often they explode. But otherwise, he really is a genius. When he isn't being a complete and utter dunce.
You weren't keeping score, were you? Me neither. Watch it. Skill issue. Let's start some heads. You good? Of course you are. You're going to regret this. Better luck next time. Oh, wait.
My sister tells me you found her. She immediately put you to work, didn't she? She's always been good at getting people to help her out. So tell me, what did she send you off to find? Some shiny bauble to add to her collection? A power core? For me? For all her rough edges, my sister does have a good heart. Thank you for acquiring this for me. With a little tinkering, I'm sure I can use it to complete one of my many Dwemer-related experiments.
I'd take off if I were you. Raynor's going to build something that turns these dwarven constructs into his personal army. Or more likely, there's going to be a massive kaboom. But thanks for the help all the same.
You know what that's good for? Ah, you would dance. another notch in our belt.
Good to get stocked up.
Better luck next time.
Oh, wait.
The mines at Crosswich are invaluable.
Oh,
I'm not
ow!
surprised.
This is excruciating! What's wrong with me? Just look! My guts are busted all to pieces. See how swollen my ankle is? I'm on death's doorstep here and no one... Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you were a master healer. Everyone knows that when you get your guts beaten up, the juices gather down in your ankles. Don't play dumb. Look, you can't tell me how to feel. I get enough of that from Stugrush. You weren't there. All that snow and ice crashing down on us. We should all be dead as drunk mice on a Morndas. It's damn near a miracle any of us survived. An avalanche? Try 6 avalanches. That mountain is cursed. There's something wrong with it, and I don't have any interest in finding out what it is. I just need to go back home, see a healer about my, my injuries, and that's that.
You again. You make a habit of showing up when my lady needs you. Suppose that means we're gonna make another attempt to reach that wretched summit after all. Go present yourself to my lady. She should be coming down the trail at any moment. This is Sorrow. Apt name, don't you think? The House of Orsimer Glories in Orsinium engaged my lady's services to find the shrine of Tora Groigron. It supposedly waits at the snowy top. No one's attempted to climb it in years, yet here we are. Only if you consider vile beasts, freezing winds, and falling ice to be a problem. We tried to climb the mountain 3 times now, and each failure was more spectacular than the last. If you're interested, Lady Laurent could really use the help. This expedition has really proved to be more troublesome than Lady Laurent anticipated. I hate to say it, but I think this time Sorrow might be more than she bargained for.
Feel free to examine. Damn you, Karsten. How am I supposed to make a great discovery when... Oh, hello! I was just thinking about you. You do have a habit of showing up whenever I need help. Perchance you've brought a small army with you as well? Just you? Well, I was hoping for porters and guides and all, but I suppose that I can make do. I'll need to make a few slight adjustments to my plan, but this time we'll reach the summit of Sorrow, I'm sure of it.
The last 3 times, you mean? We set up one camp, but the harpies in the icy wind cut us down each time we climbed higher. A few orcs even wandered into a chasm because they couldn't see more than 2 paces ahead in the fog. Ooh, it all upset me so. To start, head up and present yourself to Karston while I go check on my lazy manservant Stibbons. We'll meet you up there. And remind Karston who it is that's actually in charge of this expedition. He can be so uncooperative at times. Why are you still here? Do you need directions or something? We're not just talking about any dead orc. This is Torug's shrine. Not only was he the founder of the original city of Orsinium, but he was the owner of the armlet of Torug. Do you know how high my reputation will soar once I recover that relic? According to a scroll fragment I studied, the armlet of Torug is a magical bracelet encrusted with gems. With its power, Torug was able to tame the savage wilderness. It allowed the ancient orcs to establish the first city of Orsinium. The museum in Orsinium has it on display. It only contains a few words in the ancient orc tongue, but I was able to make some sense out of it. It talked about the armlet, the shrine, and something called Sorrow's Kiss. Oh, doesn't that sound romantic?
Building up a stash. Good thinking.
Who in the name of Malakath's third tusk are you? Don't you know this is sacred ground? Besides, it's also one of the most dangerous places in all of Hrothgar. You shouldn't be wandering around up here.
Oh, she did she? I hope you know what you're getting into. Harpies and ogres are bad enough, but the true challenge of Sorrow is the mountain itself. The wind cuts like a sword, and the freezing mist blinds you. But that's not the worst.
Avalanches!
Sorrow wields her snow and ice with terrible precision. I've seen strong orcs swept right off the side like scoring a slaughter in 7-pick knockdown. We tried 3 times and lost most of our expedition. We're all that's left. To be honest, I'm not sure. We barely made it this far before we got separated from the others. If you could look for our companions, that would be helpful. Regardless, we have to find Torug's shrine or all these sacrifices will be for nothing. The good orcs, each and every one of them. Expert climbers. But Sorrow isn't an ordinary mountain. Best way to find them? They should have placed markers to indicate avalanche areas. Just follow the markers. Sorrow may not be the tallest mountain in Tamriel, but it's certainly one of the deadliest. That's why the ancient orcs built memorials to their champions on its slopes. The higher the location of the tomb, the greater the sacrifice and prestige. We're looking for the shrine of the great orc hero Torog Groegron. Legend says that Torog's shrine sits at the very top of the mountain as befits the founder of the original Orsinium. But it's so high up that nothing can survive there. Extremely. We've already tried to get up there 3 times. We lost the rest of the expedition and had to turn back before we barely got out of the base camp. But the danger will be worth it if we could find Torog's legendary relics. I work for Orsinium's newly established museum. I'm their resident expert on the time of Torog, so the museum sent me to assist Lady Laurent and her manservant. I always dreamed of visiting the shrine, so I jumped at the opportunity. Her reputation brought her to the attention of the museum, and she loves digging around in old tombs. She has a particular interest in an ancient fragment that talks about Sorrow's Kiss. She believes it has something to do with Torog's shrine. At first, we got along fine. We both love history and exploring ancient sites. But the woman has been driving me crazy. She lacks the fundamental reverence for the past that separates a scholar from a grave robber. I just don't trust her judgment.
Don't you dare put down that firewood. It won't do us any good if it gets wet.
You make a sound point, lady.
Who's better than us? Nobody. Who's next? Let's see what you're made of.
All dead, just as I feared. Wait, what's this? Fascinating. Most of the monuments up here are inscribed with 3-stanza epitaphs. It was a common practice. This rubbing appears to be Tarug's first stanza. It's written in Old Orcish, proclaiming the memorial's inaccessibility. Well, obviously they found the shrine higher up on the mountain. As to why they came here to die, I have no idea. Maybe the cold or a lack of supplies drove them down. Or they were coming back to meet us. Let us know that they reached the shrine. Let me translate this rubbing. No looters, no lesser orcs. Remarkable. We should try to find the other 2 stanzas. If I can...
Poor orcs. Stibbins, be a dear and bury them.
And down they go.
Another stanza. Incredible. Torug took the armlet to the very summit. But this word...
Come now, Stibbins. Keep up.
Right behind you, milady, as always.
This cold is unbearable. Stibbins, the firewood.
A fire! Splendid idea, milady. I'll just... Oh, why? Milady, you need to see this.
Easy.
Build the fire here. I need more light. Maybe there's a hidden door.
Lady Clarisse Laurent, I insist you listen to me.
What are you going on about, Stibbins? Can't you see I'm trying to... Oh. I suggest a strategic retreat.
I wholeheartedly agree, milady.
Let's stand back here and let Karsten and our friend work in peace, Stibbins.
Give him a light.
down the third stanza, my lady.
Quiet, Stibbins. There might still be ogres about. Quickly, Karsten. What does it say?
Let me take a look. Torog wasn't pleased that they built his shrine below the summit. He wanted to rest at the top.
Does it say anything about the armlet of Torog?
He carried it to the summit. It says he laid Sorrow's kiss upon it. Yes, Zugka. I'm certain it's kiss.
Sorrow's kiss? The same phrase from the fragment. Doesn't that sound so romantic, Stibbins?
Very sentimental, my lady. But are you sure that doesn't say Zugra?
Now, Stibbins, really, leave the translating to the experts. In the meantime, I must speak to our friend. Isn't this wonderful news? To protect his own tomb from looters and to ensure his legend among his people, Torog climbed to the summit, and he took his relics with him. Now, be a dear and go up there and retrieve the armlet of Torog for me? Ugh, haven't we been over this? I swear, sometimes I think you hear one word I say out of every 3. You're almost as bad as my manservant Stibbins. Of course! It's written in stone. The ancients never lied when they were chiseling words into stone, you know. The new museum will be the wonder of Tamriel with such a relic as the armlet of Torog in its collection. Hyperbole to keep undesirables from venturing up. And even if there's some modicum of truth to the tale, all you need to do is grab the armlet. Easy as eating a sweet roll. Now, the thin air might make you lightheaded, but you can handle that. I don't agree with Karsten about many of his orcish ideas, but on this point, we're in perfect alignment. The proper translation is Sorrow's Kiss. Now go and get the armlet while we see what other relics we can acquire for the museum. Our friends have returned to their senses. Oh, I told you they weren't dead, Stibbins.
And look, that must be the armlet of Torog. I refuse to let you go through with your plan, Lady Laurent.
Really, Karsten, not that again. We clearly have more to discuss. Stibbins, see to our friends.
You missed all the drama while you were unconscious. Lady Laurent and our helpful orc had a dreadfully intense argument about the armlet of Torog. Oh, it was wonderful to watch. Well, it's the thin air up here, but whatever you did made the weather calm down, so we followed you up. That's when Karsten and Lady Laurent started arguing. Karsten thinks the shrine would be a better location to display the armlet than the museum. Oh, most indubitably. The museum hired her to acquire relics, and she hates to disappoint. Perhaps you could talk to them, help them reach a decision that gets us someplace warm, hmm? You better let me hold on to the armlet, just to be on the safe side.
I don't know what's gotten into Karsten. Why would anyone want to climb all the way up to the shrine to see an ancient relic when there's a perfectly quaint museum down in Orsinium? I would say so. The museum specifically tasked us to retrieve relics and bring them to Orsinium. History is meant to be admired, not left hidden in the past. Karsten's plan means I will have failed in my mission. And Lady Laurent never fails. If you insist. But please don't take too long. All this cold is doing terrible things to my poor, chafed lips.
I'm glad you recovered the armlet of Torug. But before you decide what to do with the relic, you need to hear what I have to say. So it would seem. This shrine stands as a tribute to our past glories. It reveals an age when orcs thought nothing of sacrificing dozens of warriors to build memorials to our strength. It sets the kind of example that the new Orsinium needs. The armlet of Torug should remain in his shrine. Make sure every orc climbs Sorrow to see it, to understand what our ancestors were capable of achieving. In this way, the relic will become a symbol to bind our people together. Surely you can see that. I knew you'd see it my way. Soon every orc will be able to make the pilgrimage to Torug's sacred shrine and gaze upon this important relic. You have done the orcs a great service today, my friend.
You sided with Karsten? After all we've been through?
It's been decided. Torug's relic stays in Torug's shrine.
The poor orcs have to climb up here to see a piece of their heritage? That's positively criminal.
Wait, what's Stibbons doing with the relic?
A little faster, Stibbons. I'm anxious to see what the relic actually does.
But, my lady, what if I'm not worthy?
Nonsense. We're not afraid of legends and superstitions, are we?
No, my lady. Of course not. Well, here goes nothing.
Oh, Stibbons. What did you do this time?
Maybe your manservant was right. Maybe it does say Sorrow's curse.
Stibbons always finds a way to turn the simplest task into an ordeal. I don't know why I let him accompany me on my adventures. But what about you? I can't believe you agreed with Karsten instead of me. And what am I supposed to tell the House of Original Galleries, or whatever it is the orcs call their museum? That they have an annex all the way up here? Wait a moment. That's a great idea! I'm a genius! You inspired me again, my faithful friend. Someone at the Mages Guild will help me thaw out Stibbons. It may take weeks to warm him up, but he'll be fine. This didn't turn out as planned, but it'll do. Lady Laurent, founder of the Shrine of Sorrow. Has a nice ring to it, don't you think? Give me a moment, and I'll open a portal back to our base camp.
A portal? So why did we have to make that harrowing climb?
Careful! Don't crack my manservant. Honestly, you orcs approach everything like you're going to war.
Perhaps you'd like to carry him, Your Majesty.
I hope Karsten can get Stibbons back to the Mages Guild without dropping him too many times. I'm not sure what they can do if poor Stibbons gets cracked, or even shattered. Anyway, thanks again for your able assistance.
Good eye. Got your back. That's it?
Usually throw back the small ones. Always wonder if they're thankful that today's not their day.
That'll teach them not to cross us.